ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लाङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। कृपया क्षमतामपराधिजनं कलुषायुतशक्तसुदीननरं सुपथे परिचालय सर्वदिनं प्रणमामि च माधवदेवपदम्। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते। भुजे सव्यवेणुं शिरसि शिखिपिच्छं कटितटे दुकूलां नेत्रान्ते सहचरकटाक्षं विदधते। सदा श्रीमद्वृन्दावनवसति लीलापरिचयो जगन्नाथस्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे। वन्दे नन्दव्रजस्त्रीणां पादरेणुम् अभीक्ष्णशः यासां हरिकथोद्गीतं पुनाति भुवनत्रयम्। भक्त्या विहीन अपराधलक्षैक्षिप्ताश्च कामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयी त्वां शरणं प्रपन्नवृन्दे नुमस्ते चरणारविन्दम्। भूमोस्खलितपादानां भूमिरेव यवलम्बनं त्वय्यजात अपराधानां त्वमैव शरणं प्रभो। वागीशा यस्य वदने लक्ष्मीर्यस्या च वक्ष्यासि यस्यास्ति हृदये संवित्तं नृसिंहमहं भजे। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। A reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 12th chapter. Dhruva has returned back to his kingdom, and he was performing performed various sacrifices in order to please the Brahmanas and the demigods. He used various paraphernalia for that purpose. So we heard there yesterday in the purport that it is the duty of the kings to perform sacrifices for the pleasure of the Brahmanas and the demigods. But here we have to understand that Dhruva has engaged one of his representatives to perform this activity, and he himself was actually engaged in the remembrance of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. He was directly not involved in performing these ritualistic activities. So seeing the devotional qualities of Dhruva, seeing his, the way he protected the Varnashrama Dharma, social and religious classes, and how he was, compassionate to the living entities, and how he was the caretaker or the benefactor of the Brahmanas. Owing to these qualities, Dhruva was considered as a father. He was considered like a father by everyone. Now we will continue from verse number 13. षट्त्रिंशद्वर्ष साहस्रं शशास क्षितिमण्डलं भोगैः पुण्यक्षयं कुर्वन्नभोगैर् अशुभक्षयम्। এই প্রকারে ধ্রুব ভোগের দ্বারা পুণ্যক্ষয় এবং যজ্ঞাদি অনুষ্ঠানের দ্বারা প্রারব্ধ অশুভ ক্ষয় করিয়া ৩৭ সহস্র বৎসর পৃথিবী শাসন করিতে লাগিলেন। So in this manner Dhruva had finished all his pious activities by enjoyment, means by engaging in various kinds of enjoyments. He was opulent, and then there were so many enjoyments. In this manner all his pious deeds were slowly finished in this manner, and by performing yajna and other ritualistic activities, he had driven away all the inauspicious things. In this manner, for 36,000 years Dhruva had ruled the kingdom. So actually the karma binds all the living entities, good or bad, whatever it is. Both of these are the cause of bondage. If you have done good activities, then also you have to come here in order to enjoy those. If you have performed bad activities, for that also you need to come here to suffer those. Because karma is binding. It is a bondage, karma. One may say that I will perform pious activities. Okay, sinful activities one may have to go to hell. Therefore, I will perform pious activities. But whether pious or impious activities, all of them are a cause of bondage. So, Dhruva has finished all of his good activities by enjoyment, means the opulence that he has got, and all the bad karmas or inauspicious things were driven away by performing yajna and other ritualistic activities. In this manner, he became free from all karmic reactions. When one performs Hari Bhajan, automatically everything will be finished. Prarabdha karmeti virauti veda. By chanting the holy name, one will be freed even from the prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma means that karma which has fructified already. You have to enjoy or suffer that activity, that particular fruit. There is no alternative. But even the prarabdha karma is also driven away by the chanting of the holy name. So, the best of all practices is the chanting of the holy name or Krishna Bhakti. By performing devotion, all other karmic reactions are automatically finished. So, Dhruva, in this manner, for 36,000 years, he has ruled the planet, kingdom. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, Abhogaihi भोगरहित कच्र साध्य व्रत नियमादिर द्वारा अशुभ क्षयम कुर्वन पापक्षय करते इच्छा करिया ए अर्थ. So he has performed various ritualistic activities in order to drive away all kinds of impious activities or inauspicious activities. এখানে ধ্রুবের পুণ্য বা পাপ ক্ষয়ের ইচ্ছা দৈন্যবশতঃ বস্তুতঃ जातरति भक्त बोलिया ताहार पुण्य व पाप किच्छुई नाय. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur makes it very clear in the purport that there are no activities that become the cause of Dhruva's bondage. No karma can bind Dhruva here, because it is said that he is a Jatarata Bhakta. Jatarata Bhakta means a devotee in whom that deep or intense attachment or taste for the holy name or to serve Supreme Lord Sri Krishna has awakened already. A person in whom devotion has already awakened, or not devotion but rather the attachment to the devotion has already awakened, that person will not be bonded by any good or bad activities. But here Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur tells that why he has performed the various ritualistic activities, telling that it is out of his humility, and in order to show to everyone, because the king, if the king himself does not perform such ritualistic activities, the people in that particular kingdom, they will also not pay proper attention to it. Therefore, as a leader of the society, as a leader of the kingdom, the king should always follow the Vedic rituals properly, so that the people in general, they also follow it. That is why here Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur tells that even though there is no sin or pious activity that can bind Dhruva, it is only out of his humility that he has performed these activities. Evam bahusavang kalang mahatma vichalendriya trivargaupaikam nitva putraya danrupasanam manyaman idam vishwam maya rachitatmani avidya rachita swapna gandharva nagaropagama gandharva nagaropamam. এই রূপে संयतेन्द्रिय शुद्ध चित्त द्रव এই দেহাদি বিশ্বকে ভগবানের বহিরঙ্গা শক্তিজাত বলিয়া সত্য হইলেও জীবস্থানে अविद्या अर्थात स्वरूप ज्ञानेर अभाव द्वाराई रचित स्वप्न दृष्ट गंधर्व नगरेर न्याय असत्य বলিয়া মনে করিলেন এবং বহুবিধ যজ্ঞের অনুষ্ঠান পূর্বক त्रिवर्ग साधने बहुकाल अतिवाहित करिया अवशेषे पुत्र के राजसिंहासन प्रदान करिलेन. So in this manner Dhruva, who has control over his sense organs, a devotee always has control over his sense organs. Dhruva, in that does, because he is a devotee, he has controlled all his sense organs and Shuddha Chitta, and his heart was purified. So in that purified state and in the state of controlled sense organs, he has understood this external world, the entire world, to be the external an outcome of the external potency of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So because it is emanating from the external potency of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, it is also truth. It is not false. Like the Mayavadis say, they say Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. Brahma is the truth, but this material world is false. Material world is not false. Anything that is coming from Supreme Lord Sri Krishna cannot be termed as false. It is impermanent. It is ignorance. It is filled with ignorance. It is not permanent, you can say, but it cannot be false. That is what the Vaishnavas, they say. So here Dhruva, he could understand that this material world, which is coming out of the external potency, which has come out of the external potency of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, even though it is factual, still it is full of ignorance. Means there is no truth about the Supreme, or there is no absolute knowledge in it. It is external manifestation. Therefore, in that external manifestation, it is only avidya, it is only ignorance. In this manner, he could very clearly understood that there is no, this material world is not permanent and it is full of ignorance. And therefore, Swapnadrishta Gandharva Nagarenyai Asatya. It is just like in a dream you are seeing a, what is it called, a fantasy world. Fantasy world means whatever you are fantasizing in your in your dreams. That world does not exist, but you are fantasizing it. So it is just like a fantasy world in your dream. Our Guru Maharaj used to use the word phantasmagoria. Guru Maharaj used to use this word phantasmagoria. It's a fantasy. It doesn't exist, but you think that it is existing. So it is just like in a dream, a fantasy world we see. In a similar way, we are seeing this. Dhruva has seen this material world. This entire material world is actually, even though its existence is not false, but still it is only ignorance and it is impermanent. In this manner, he has seen everything, and therefore he was engaged in various ritualistic activities for dharma, artha, and kama. Dharma, artha, kama means religiosity, economic development, and sense gratification. We heard previously that Dhruva was engaged in these rituals only to show to the general public that the Vedas are to be followed. If as a king he himself does not follow the Vedic rituals, then the followers or the subjects in the kingdom, they will also not do so. Therefore, Dhruva is very much aware that this material world is false. Sometimes, just by an external activity, we try to judge a particular person, but it is going to be false. Why the person is doing that activity is more important than what he is doing. That is why whatever we see with these eyes is not necessarily truth. Just like a mother is beating the child, a father is beating the child, chastising the child, you may see that this mother and father, or this man and woman, they are very, very ruthless, they are very, very merciless towards this small child. If you just go by the external activity of these persons, you see that they are merciless, they are beating a small child. But actually the truth of the fact is that they want to bring the welfare of that particular child. That is why they are beating. So just by the mere appearance of a thing, you cannot judge whether it is right or wrong. Even for the Vaishnavas, they have got a particular motivation inside, and therefore they do a particular activity that may seemingly be not fully devotional, that may appear to be in karma kanda activity. But if the intention is, like in the case of Dhruva, the intention is that it should be followed by everyone, because not everyone is eligible for Krishna Bhakti, topmost Krishna Bhakti. Not everyone is eligible means not everyone can do. That is why there are various paths. Everyone should be doing, but not everyone is eligible to do. Therefore, everyone should follow the Vedic rituals properly so that they transcend to a state where they can follow Krishna Bhakti. That is why Dhruva, he has performed various sacrifices and other ritualistic activities for Trivarga, Dharma, Artha and Kama. In this manner, he ruled the kingdom for 36,000 years, and then he has given his son the kingdom. He made his son the next successor to that kingdom. Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, Bahuvatsar Trivarga Dharma Artha Akam Sadhane কাল অতিবাহিত করিয়া এই বিশ্ব মায়ার দ্বারা রচিত বলিয়া সত্য হইলেও আত্মাতে যে অবিদ্যা তাহার দ্বারা রচিত গন্ধর্ব নগরের ন্যায় অসত্যের মত মনে করিলেন, এই অর্থ। সো Krishna Chakravarti Thakur writes that from our own ignorance we create a fantasy world. It is out of our own ignorance. So in a similar manner he saw this entire world to be coming out of as a manifestation of the external potential of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, and it is impermanent. There is no absolute truth, there is no knowledge in it. In this manner he has seen, and therefore he engaged in dharma, artha and kama, the ritualistic activities that promote dharma, artha and kama. आत्मस्त्य पत्य सुहृदो बलम मृद्धकोश मंतःपुरम परिविहार भुवश्च रम्याः भूमंडलम जलधि मेखल माकल्य कालोपसृष्टमिति स प्रययौ विशालाम। तखन तिनी देह स्त्री पुत्र सुहृद मित्र सैन्य सामंत समृद्ध कोशागार अंतपुर रमणीय विहार भूमि आसमुद्र भूमंडल इत्यादि कालक्षोभ्य अनित्य विवेचना करिया श्री भगवत आराधनार निमित्त बद्रिकाश्रमे गमन करिलेन। So for 36,000 years he has performed various rituals and then other activities. He later gave his son, the kingdom. He made him the successor, and then he himself entered into Badrikashram in order to perform the worship of the Supreme Lord. He has given up his wife, he has given up attachment to his own body, he has given up his children, his friends, his other relatives, his ministers, and uncommon wealth. That it was his treasure house was filled with so much of opulence. So he even gave up that. His own kingdom he gave up, or his palace he gave up, and beautiful places of wandering places in the kingdom, he has given up all those things, and the entire world, he told entire earth planet, including the lands, including the oceans, including the rivers, everything, the entire earth planet was thus given up by the Dhruva, and then he understood them that all these things are temporary. Understood this body, this wife, children, and property, ministers, they are all under the control of time. Everyone will be finished one point of time. So he understood all these in reality, and then he has given up, entered into Badrikashram to perform worship of Supreme Lord. Tasyam Vishuddhakaranam शिव बार्विगाह्य बद्धासनम जित मरुन् मनसा हृताक्षः स्थूले दधार भगवत प्रतिरूप एतद् धायंस्तद् व्यवहितो व्यसृजत् समाधौ। সেই বাদরিকাশ্রমে ধ্রুব পবিত্র বাড়িতে অবগাহন করিলেন এবং বিশুদ্ধেন্দ্রিয় হইয়া স্বস্তিকাদি আসন রচনা করিলেন। So he entered into Badrikashram, and there he took bath in pure water. In the Badrikashram there is a very, very purified water, very crystal clear water you can say, and after taking bath in that river he purified all his sense organs. And after that, he sat on an asana. Asana means a seat, on an elevated seat. He sat in different postures. परे जित प्राण होइया मनोद्वारा इंद्रिय सकल के विषय होते समाहृत कर लेन. So he has controlled his life air. He sat in a particular posture on an asana, and then he has controlled his life air. And thus controlling his life air, he has controlled his mind, and he has controlled all the sense organs and the interaction of the sense organs with the objects of the sense organs. Means with the touch, the sound, the taste, smell, etc. So he, completely withdrew all his sense organs from the interaction with these objects. एवं भगवानेर प्रतिनिधिभूत विराट रूप धारण करिते लागलेन. And thus, becoming purified in this manner and becoming free from the interaction with the material world, external world, he contemplated upon the Virat Rupa, the universal form of the Supreme Lord. এই রূপ ধারণা করিতে করিতে তদেকনিষ্ঠ হইয়া সমাধিস্থ হইলেন এবং সেই স্থূল রূপ বিস্মৃতি হইলেন. In this manner, he contemplated on the universal form, and he became completely absorbed in that, in Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, and thus he entered into a state of samadhi. In the state of samadhi, he thus has completely become transcended to the universal form also. Means the universal form of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is like a material form. So he meditated upon that material form or the universal form of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, and then he freed himself, he transcended himself even from that stage by complete engrossment in that, in the samadhi state he attained, and then he transcended that state also. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, Vishuddha Karanaha इत्यादि जमादि अष्टांग योग साधनेर द्वारा इंद्रिय वर्ग के निग्रहित करत श्री भगवानेर प्रीति निधि रूप विराट रूपे मन धारणा करिलेन. So Vishuddha Karana, here he is telling that, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is writing that by undergoing the Yam Adi Ashtanga Yoga Sadhana, there are various yogic practices, 8 kinds of yogic practices, Yam, Niyam, like this, there are so many. So, this 8 kinds of yogic practices Dhruva has followed. In this, he has controlled his life here, and then he has entered into the state of Samadhi. Samadhi is the topmost yogic process. So, he has entered into the state of Samadhi. श्री भगवानेर प्रतिनिधि रूप विराट रूपे मन धारणा करिलेन. And in that state of samadhi, he absorbed his mind completely in the Virat Rupa, the universal form of Supreme Lord. এই প্রকার ধ্যান করিতে করিতে ব্যবধান শূন্য হইয়া শ্রী ভগবত স্বরূপে সমাধিস্থ হইলেন এবং ওই স্থল বিরাট রূপেও বিস্মৃতি হইলেন. So in this manner he absorbed his mind completely in meditating upon the universal form of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, and then slowly he entered into the state of samadhi, and after entering into the samadhi he further transcended from that particular state. Means he has transcended even from the meditation of the universal form. Universal form is like a material form, just like I said little while ago. It's a material form. So the actual form of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is Satchidananda. It's in Goloka Vrindavan. But this universal form is a material form. Bhaktim harau भगवती प्रवहन् अजस्रम आनंद बाष्पकलया मुहुरर्धमानः विक्लिद्यमान हृदयः पुलकाचितांगो नाम्ना नात्मानम् अस्मरद साविति मुक्तालिंगः। এই রূপে ধ্রুবের শ্রী ভগবান হরিতে নিত্য ভক্তি প্রবাহ বর্ধিত হইতে থাকায় তাহার নয়ন যুগল হইতে আনন্দাশ্রু প্রবাহিত হইতে লাগিল, তাহাতে তিনি অভিভূত হইয়া পড়লেন। So in this manner, when Dhruva's transcendental state was enhancing further and further, means from yama, niyama, etc., he has come to a platform of samadhi, and from samadhi he further transcended, from the meditation of the universal form he further transcended. In this manner, when his devotional waves, they enhanced in Dhruva constantly, then slowly he attained a state where tears started to flow from his eyes. This is, above the samadhi state, when one realizes the Supreme Lord's, or when one takes darshan of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, when one comes in direct contact with Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, at that time there is these various kinds of external bodily manifestations exhibit. Means the tears coming down the eyes, and then sudden slackening or the extension of the bodily limbs, and then horripilations, sudden shoutings, all these things. These are the Ashtasattvic Vikar, it is called. These are the 8 symptoms of ecstasy that a devotee exhibits, or a devotee experiences when he is in trance. So Dhruva, thus, when he has attained that state where the streams and the currents of devotion are flowing in his heart constantly, then his eyes started to shed tears, and he became completely overwhelmed in that state. তাহার হৃদয় দ্রবীভূত হইল এবং অঙ্গ পুলকে ব্যাপ্ত হইয়া উঠিল, and his heart got melted. When the Supreme Lord appears in the heart, then the heart completely gets melted in that divine love. So Dhruva's heart was thus melted, and his bodily limbs were also, they trembled. Trembled means pulakito. They got trembling is also one of the symptoms of ecstasy, and also they extended further. There is extension of the bodily limbs. This is also one of the symptoms of ecstasy. Sutrang তাহার শরীর অভিমান ত্যক্ত হইল, তাহাতে তাহার দেহ বিস্মৃতি ঘটিল। Means that he has completely become free from his bodily conception. He is, he has completely transcended to a state of Supreme Lord's complete absorption. Therefore, he gave up, or he became completely free from the bodily conception, and he forgot about himself completely in that divine absorption. Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, ei সকল তত্রত্য বদ্রিকাশ্রমস্থ যোগী গণের সদাচারের সম্মানার্থ 2-3 দিন তদ অনুরোধে অনুষ্ঠান করিয়াছিলেন। বস্তুতঃ কিন্তু তাহার যোগ সাধনে কোনো অবকাশই ছিল না, ইহা বলিতেছেন ভক্তিম ইত্যাদি। অর্থাৎ এই প্রকার ধ্রুব ভগবান শ্রীহরির প্রতি অবিচ্ছিন্ন ভক্তিভাব বহন করিতে করিতে So in the previous verse, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is referring to the previous verse. In the previous verse, it is said that he has performed the Ashtanga Yoga, and then he entered into the state of Samadhi. He, sat on an asana. In a particular asana, he has controlled his life air. All these things are said in the previous verse. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is telling, actually, in this verse, bhaktim, of the word bhaktim is used, means devotion. Devotion is used, means Dhruva was actually constantly in devotional mood only. He was constantly serving Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. He was not doing all these things. But why it is said, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, that when Dhruva went to Badrikashram, there were so many yogis in Badrikashram. They have invited Dhruva, please stay at our place. Because Dhruva is a celebrated devotee. He has attained Supreme Lord Sri Krishna in a very short span of time. And then he has enjoyed so many riches. And then is also pole star in the name of Dhruva. So he is a very celebrated devotee. So the yogis in the Badrikashram, they have invited Dhruva, please come and stay here for 1 or 2 days. So when Dhruva had stayed there for 2-3 days, then whatever yogis they used to perform, in order to respect them, in order to give respect to their yogic processes, Dhruva has also performed these yogic practices, but in actuality he was only absorbed in the service of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna only. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is writing like this, that one should not think that he has undergone the yogic practices, but it is because in the Badrikashram there were some yogis who had invited him to stay with them, and then in order to give respect to their yogic practices, Dhruva was also said to be doing this Ashtanga Yoga practice, but actually he was only performing devotion. Tahar dehabhiman parityag hoilo, kintu joger hetute nahi. So he has completely become freed from his material or bodily conception. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is telling that he became freed from bodily conception not because of the yogic practices he performed, because of the devotion. Because of the devotional practices only he has transcended this material plane. गार्हस्थ्य धर्मे कर्मयोग एवं वैराग्ये अष्टांग योगेर अनुष्ठान ताहार लोक प्रदर्शनेर निमित्तई होइयाछिलो एई भाव. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is concluding the purport by saying that when he was a grihastha, when he was in the household life, when he was ruling the kingdom, at that time he was seen to be performing the karma kanda activities like rituals, yajnas, sacrifices, etc. All these things he performed. And after he accepted the vairagya, the detachment or the renounced form of life, at that time he underwent Ashtanga Yoga process, etc. So, but one has to understand that Dhruva has performed these activities only to show to the ordinary people that these are the activities that are to be performed in order to transcend the material world. Means when he was in a grihastha life, when he was in the household life, at that time how a householder should be performing all the rituals and ceremonies, all these things they are to be observed properly. He had exhibited that by performing himself. And similarly, how in a renounced life one should be constantly meditating and one should be performing Ashtanga Yoga in order to show that, because in that particular yoga, meditation was the process. So in order to show this process, he has performed, but otherwise he is actually a devotee. There was no need for him doing this for himself, but he has done this in order to, set example for others. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Granthra Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran ki jai. जय श्री कृष्ण द्वैपायन वेदव्यास महामुनि की जय. जय श्री श्री ध्रुव महाराज की जय. परमारत्न श्री गुरु महाराज की जय. गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल.